Today, let's find out everything I carry inside my backpack. I personally think it's very important to always be prepared no matter what the situation is, and inside my backpack, I try to do exactly that. Pretty much everything I have in here, make sure that I'm always prepared for whatever comes out my way. First of all, I think we should talk about the actual bag itself because I'm in love with this bag. This is going to be a black leather Coach bag. I don't know if it has an exact model name, nor do I even remember how much I paid for it because it was about a year ago now. So I've had it for over a year and it's honestly lasting me perfectly. I've had no issues with it, which is surprising because honestly, I'm not very good at taking care of my stuff. But when it comes to this backpack, I've been doing a pretty good job with it. It definitely does have a lot of pockets. There's about 4 and there's a lot more inside it. But let's go ahead and go from the smallest to biggest. So pretty much the miscellaneous things that I have in here. If I open up the smallest pocket, obviously the smallest things are going to be in here. Honestly, I'm not a very organized person. So whatever I see first is whatever I'm going to be talking about. For example, headache pills for some reason. I have a charger for my camera just in case I need it. I have some Vaseline again in case I need it. I honestly hate chapped lips. I hate the way they look. I hate the way they feel. And Vaseline is just such a simple thing to carry to make sure that I don't get that. Also in here, I have a few different cologne samples. This one is from Scentbird. It's from Bulgaria. This actual cologne costs about like 250 bucks, but Scentbird, it's like 15 bucks, so you can't go wrong with that. Also, I have a sample pack from Dior. I honestly have a ton of these just because every time I go buy a cologne, they always give me little sample packs with it. And if they don't, I always make sure to ask for it because I love those things. I like carrying them out. They're very convenient. And in case I feel like my cologne's fading away or I need a little pickup, I always spray 1 or 2 of these to make sure I'm good. Okay, that's it for the smallest pocket. Now let's go to the next one. The first thing I carry is going to be my actual wallet, which I think is really cool just because it matches the actual backpack. But I saw this off somebody else and I thought it was a really good idea, especially when I'm wearing slim jeans. This makes my back pocket look way too bulky, and sometimes I really don't like the way that looks, so I carry it in my bag so that way it doesn't look as bad. If you're like me and you feel like it takes so much time to get to your actual cards, that's why I also carry an Apple Wallet. It's attached to my phone. Obviously, I'm always gonna have my phone in my pocket, but here I have 1 credit card, I have my ID, pretty much the main 2 cards that I always need. So it's not really an inconvenience to keep my wallet in my backpack, and that's exactly what I do it. The only thing I really keep in here are pretty useless things. I have more credit cards in here, but my main one is behind my phone, like I mentioned. But yeah, other than that, I have really random things. I have a Dave & Buster's card. Definitely know I don't need that. Or pretty much cards that I like to carry but I don't like need right away. Or I also have some cash in the back of my wallet. Just again, things that are useful that I don't really need to get to right away. I'll keep it in my wallet, which I keep in my backpack. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, the next thing I always carry in here are going to be some sunglasses. I always try to keep an extra pair of sunglasses. I always rotate which ones I'm carrying, but the current ones that I'm bringing with me all the time are going to be these from Ray-Bans. They're these circle gold ones. I feel like they do go with everything, so that's why I always carry it with me. Also, right now, since it's still the summer, it's still like 90, 100 degrees where I'm at. The sun's definitely always bright, so I always make sure to carry an extra pair of sunglasses, and those definitely happen to be some of my favorite ones. If you've been following me on Instagram, you'll know that I've been traveling a lot more recently, I'm very happy that I've been doing that. Traveling, something that I've always wanted to do. And also, I will say that I'm really bad at packing things. So a lot of these things that I carry in my backpack, I like to always keep it in there so that way I can just pick up my backpack and be ready. I'd be good either going to school or again traveling to somewhere else. But anyways, the next thing that I carry is going to be this pen that I just bought. It's actually an astronaut pen that I just bought from San Diego. But if you're like me and you're wondering what an astronaut pen is, maybe I am really bad with money, but yeah, I paid a little bit too much for a pen. But apparently this pen can write when it's wet, if there's oil or anything that like a normal pen wouldn't be able to do. I know normal pens can't write upside down and this one can, so I just thought it was cool. Maybe it was waste of money, but like I always say, it's too late, so I can't really dwell on it too much. But the next thing that I carry is going to be an extra stick of deodorant, just because in the morning sometimes I do forget to put on deodorant, and nothing's worse than already being out, realizing that you smell bad, so you don't want to lift up your arms. So a quick and easy fix would be an extra stick of deodorant. Alright, so that's it for like the more miscellaneous smaller things. Now let's get into the real things that make my backpack worthwhile. So in this pocket, I literally only carry 2 things. That is going to be 2 journals. If you're wondering why they're so scratched up, literally the day that I bought it, they delivered it to my doorstep and my dogs got to it before I did, so they're a little bit scratched and messed up, but I think it adds a little bit of character, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, anyways, these are my 2 journals. I've been journaling a lot more. Journaling is something that I've always wanted to get into, but I always kind of put it off and made excuses why I shouldn't. But ever since I started, definitely been liking a lot. The reason why I have 2 is because 1 is kind of my day-to-day thoughts, how I'm feeling, what do I think I can improve throughout my day, things that I felt like I did that was productive, things that were a waste of time, things like that. I also try to write down how much money I spent that day, so that way I can look back and be like, okay, did I really need to buy that? I always say throughout my videos that I'm very financially irresponsible, so I feel like this will help me get through that. Anyways, this one is going to be more ideas for business. I actually got this idea from somebody else. Basically, any business ideas that you can improve on your businesses or even get you more income, you should be writing in a book like this. I do carry another notebook which I kind of take notes on about YouTube, but that's a whole other conversation, and honestly that's kind of classified, so I'm gonna be moving on from that. And the final pocket, this is where I keep all my electronics. So for example, something like a charger for my MacBook, and to go with that, obviously I carry my MacBook. So the reason why I have a MacBook and a desktop is because, like I said, I have been traveling a little bit more, which one, I'm very grateful for that. And it all started from a computer, so I always try to take a computer with me. And although I definitely do prefer Windows, like my entire setup right here, I have 2 monitors right here, I have my desktop right here. I love this setup, but obviously I can't fit that into a backpack, so that's why I have this MacBook as a secondary option. So for me, Windows is definitely primary, and then secondary would be Mac. But don't get me wrong, I love both of them. And there's just something about MacBooks that I love. I feel like they're just so clean, so aesthetic, so I love carrying this around. Now, I'm not really too big into technology, so if you have a preference, don't come after me. But for those of you who are interested, this MacBook is the one with an M1 chip. Every time I bring that up to somebody, they kind of freak out over it, so I feel like that was kind of worth a mention. All right, the next thing that I carry is a speaker, just because, I don't know, who knows whenever you're gonna need a speaker. I like to be prepared. I will say I'm definitely not one of those kids that walk around school blasting their music. Trust me, don't be like that person. I could probably say that I was never like that, and I'm definitely not gonna start now. I have some chargers for my cameras. I have an actual camera itself. I wrapped it around a shirt just in case. Yeah, this is my secondary camera. This is gonna be a Sony ZV-1. For those of you who ask what I film my videos on, if you want something that you can carry around really quickly, I definitely recommend this camera. And finally, last but not least, I have a pair of earphones, which I always forget that I own for some reason. These are also gonna be my secondary earphones because I prefer the Apple AirPods. I have the AirPod Pros, which I mostly use, but my secondary one would be these Beats Pros. I can't remember the exact name, but I'm a really big fan of them. But for some reason, I always forget that I own them. But nonetheless, that's everything that I carry inside my backpack. And like I mentioned, I love the backpack itself. I think everything is so clean about it. Yes, for some reason, I'm carrying a Captain America. I definitely will say that this Captain America kind of takes away the mature look that the backpack gives, but honestly, don't really care. I think it's kind of funny, so I always carry it around. But yeah, anyway, that's everything that I carry in my backpack, whether I'm going to school, whether I'm traveling to a different state, city, whatever. But if you have anything to recommend to add into my backpack, definitely let me know, because I feel like there's definitely some things I should be carrying, but I'm just not quite there yet. But I hope this video did help you out, and if it did, make sure to leave a like. I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already in this channel, I simplify men's fashion, so I'm gonna leave a button for you to do that right here. And if you want to see more videos right away, here are a few that I think could really help you out. But anyways, other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.